A good book is what more than it is actually sold for. This is actually true of Elisha Mammons' book titled The Business of Life that we are studying. If this is your first video on this channel, kindly go back and watch preceding videos so that you don't miss out on anything that we had discussed earlier. So on our last video in this book, or in our last video, we did a bit of introduction for the book and all of that. So today we are going to get right into chapter 1 and chapter 2, hopefully. All right, let's get started. The author patterned the book in such a way that every chapter starts with a law. So chapter 1 starts with the law of responsibility, and I'm going to read. It says, this law states that you are solely responsible for everything you are, for everything you have or don't have, for everything you achieve, and for everything you become. Elisha Mammon wrote this one. So chapter 1 is titled, Your Life is Your Business. So let's see how to be good business people. So it says, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. This was written by Jim Rohn. I hope I got that. Yeah, Jim Rohn. So one of the most frustrating experiences you can have is to try to change your results without changing the kind of person that you are. Most people are yet to come to terms with the fact that what they need, what they do, and what they have flows out of who they are. In 1998, while I was still waiting for admission into the university, this is the author now, said my mentor told me what I consider to be $1 million advice. He said, Elisha, make sure for each passing year you are better than you were in the previous one. Until you take responsibility for your life, nothing will change. I'd repeat it. Make sure for each passing year you are better than you were in the previous one. This is something that, most people don't practice. They wake up, we're still in a new year. This is just February. And a lot of persons, got into the year writing resolutions and all of that. I'm sorry to say I didn't really write resolutions this year because I noticed that sometimes I don't tick up up to 70% of my resolution, and it is not what I want to do this year. No. But yeah, I decided on something new. And what is this new thing? That every task, no matter how big or small it is, that I say to myself I would do them. And the year just began. We are still in the second month, and I have achieved a lot of things. I think resolutions are, should I say, overrated? Because writing them is not actually achieving them. There is supposed to be an action point or an action part of it, but we neglect it. We give more importance to the writing than the action. So I don't read. In fact, I don't think I'll do resolutions anymore because my life is much better without it. What we need primarily is discipline. Self-discipline and self-supervision, not really something we write in a diary and all of that we don't even get to live by at the end of the day. And the truth of the matter is you cannot transfer or delegate the responsibility to make your life better to someone else. If you don't decide that you get better, you just remain at the same spot. Nothing changed. You just be there. So the author also buttressed that by saying, taking responsibility for your life is to confront the challenges facing you, your family, or your country, to stand for what you believe is right, to respond to life with the ability you've been given, to respond to circumstances, and to choose the attitudes, actions, and reactions that shape your life, to carry your own weight, to prepare and set your own goals, to exercise the discipline to reach your aspirations, to use what is in your hand to confront what is in your front. I like the rhymes. Don't mind me. So, we have to take responsibility for our lives by ourselves, else no one else would. Remember what we talked about. Cultivate your land or no one will do that for you. So here he referenced a Nigerian preacher called David Oyedepo, the founder of Living Faith International Ministries. He said, if you fail, it is your fault. If you succeed, it is also your fault. You choose which fault you want to commit. Who you are and what you have today are all the product of your decisions. This is why it is foolish to blame someone else or even your country for your failure. Ladies and gentlemen, we had it ourselves. So choose your fault wisely. If you want to succeed, that's a fault you should decide to choose. If you want to, fail, choose your fault. So it's a short quote here says, our life is a gift from God. What we do with it is our gift back to God. Written by Leo Bosgaglia. I'm sorry if I murdered that name. And that's under the subtopic, life is meant to be served. So gift your life back to the giver by doing something meaningful with it. It takes courage to take responsibility. It is easier to follow than to lead. It's easier to be told what to do than to tell someone what to do. So nobody wants the blame for failure. So everybody tries to hide under, oh, he asked me to do that, so it's not my fault. He gave the instructions, so the implication, he's the bear. Do you understand? So nobody wants to take a fall for a failure. So nobody likes to lead. It is not convenient to lead at all. But we have to take leads if we must actually live our lives the way it was meant to be lived. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. We all know. We've all heard. And when things go wrong in a pack, the leaders go down first. So for people who are, mindful of the life that they live, like who want to serve their life to people, to, nature, they don't sit back and, complain when things go wrong. They just get to work. That's who a leader is. So if you want to be successful, one of the business tip of life is to kill the complaints and get to work. And we know the quality of leader you are by the load of responsibility that you carry. So if your responsibility is just to sweep, I'm sorry, your leading may be, I'm using that as an example. Say there was a tree to cut and there was a sweeping to do, and you choose to sweep because sweeping is easy. Oh, we'll just know, okay, the person who cut the tree is, more, this is just for example's sake, has more leadership qualities than you do, because leaders don't go for the easy things. They go for the hard things. They go for the things that every other person runs away from. We already established that leadership is a no-play area. And we must also know that responsibility unlocks capacity or unlocks ability, because the more you do, the more you can do. A quote here supports that. He said, we are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. So onto a new subtopic. He said, you can if you say you can. So when responsibility says, I can do it, irresponsibility says there's nothing to be done. When responsibility says there's more to be done, irresponsibility says I have done all I can. The world has been shaped and is still being shaped by men and women who have deleted the word impossible from their vocabulary. Remember when we were discussing the 7 habits of highly effective people? And we talked about what proactive and reactive people say. You can, substitute responsible people for proactive people and irresponsible people for reactive people, because these things are related. People who are proactive don't complain about situations, they do something about them. But reactive or irresponsible people are always complaining. Say your life will not experience a shift until you shift from passing the blame to taking responsibility. The line between childhood and adulthood is crossed when we move from saying it got lost to I lost it. It is called the responsibility effect. Hallelujah, somebody. So the easier thing to always do is to pass the blame onto the next person. No, it's not my fault. I didn't do it. You did it. So bear the responsibility. It happens also in African homes, when a child is successful, makes the family proud by attaining, making good results, grades in school and all of that. The father be like, oh, that's my boy, that's my girl. But when the child is a failure, maybe gets pregnant at the teenage age or doesn't do well in school, the dad will be like, woman, look at the kind of child you gave birth to. So no one likes to take responsibility. Nobody. I don't like failure. I don't like failure. No. So you need to decide what is right or wrong, what you should do or not do, whom to see or not to see, what to wear or what not to wear, what to eat or not to eat, and who you want to be. Nobody should decide for you. If you allow others to decide on your behalf, you would most likely transfer responsibility to them. Life is a gift and you get it once. Wow. Begin to treat your life as a business that needs to grow. Become profitable and expand. Develop character and competence in your life for you to begin to take your place amongst men. Become disciplined and intentional about your investment in the business called life. I like this one. So there are a few action points for us. Action points, yeah, you can call them that. Say the price of greatness is responsibility. Written by Winston Churchill. Accept responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go and no one else. If you realize your responsibility, you will realize your destiny. Last but not the least here is responsibility is the price of freedom. So commence today and be intentional about this business called life. So we have to call it a day. I'm sorry. I really wanted us to do 2 chapters in this video, but I also want this video to be as short as possible. So I'm going to be reviewing chapter 2 in the next video because I don't want to skip things in a bit to make the video actually short. So see you next time as we talk about chapter 2. You don't want to miss it. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep improving yourself. That's the sole aim or sole purpose of this channel. Self-improvement, self-development, self-betterment. Enjoy yourself. Have a good day. Bye.